Hi, and welcome to the Business Made Easy show on the new Zoom platform. Look at us, all flash. So we are recording today with Senka from Adventure Girls, and she's going to be talking about the topic of building a business through meetups, through networking, through growing a tribe, really, of her sisterhood, which is quite exciting. And I know that a lot of us are really understanding that that's so important in our lives now as ways of building our business, especially if you're interacting online, is to building that tribe who follow you, who build that trust. So the Business Made Easy show is all about giving you some tools, some practical stuff to help you make business easier, because we figure that if it's easier, you'll have more fun. And having fun is probably, and having some freedom is probably, probably an underlying cause about why most of us jumped out of a job and started our own business and started that entrepreneurial journey. So Liz and I are your hosts. I'm Fiona Hall, and there's Liz Fry. And we, each fortnight now, we interview a business expert, someone we've got to know, who we love, and we love what they're up to in the world, and we know they have something really valuable to share with people. So that's what we're here for, and that's what we're about. And Liz and I came together to start the show because we both have a common word for this year, and the word is freedom. We want to have access to more freedom in our businesses. So here we are, sitting in our offices, interviewing people, getting to choose to sit there in our comfy, fluffy slippers and socks, and also learn stuff, which is also part of what we love to do, learn and connect and share. Right, Liz?
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't have put it better myself.
So for those of you who aren't part of our Facebook community, we're building our little tribe called the Business Made Easy tribe, and it's over on Facebook. And each day, Monday to Saturday, we have a hashtag day, and I share a little nugget of wisdom or something to get you thinking differently, something to inspire you, something to help you learn, something to help you create a place where you feel heard, you get the opportunity to share a little bit about yourself, and hopefully connect with people, because I know networking and connecting is a way I've grown my business. I know Liz is all about connecting people. So come and join us. I'll make sure I'll share that link after the show. So the way the format of the show works is I do the intro, and then I do a wee golden nugget, a little bit of wisdom I want to share with you from my expertise, and mine is about strategy and systems, finding the simple way. I'm the how lady. How do you do it? I figured that out. And then we'll hop over to Liz. She'll do a brief intro on her business, what she does, and she'll share her little wisdom, her little nugget. Now, Liz is about connecting people. She's also about helping them set up and connect with the right people to help them on their next journey in their business and help them grow through that journey where they're going to. She's really good at helping you find the right person to help you in that growth. So it might be a graphic designer, it might be marketing, it might be copy, it might be some coaching, but she will help you take that next step. And then we're going to have the fabulous guest, Senka. She's going to talk to us, as I talked about, she's going to talk to us today about growing a business through using Meetups. So we're going to get into some depth, and I've got my pen at the ready and my notepad ready to take lots of notes. I know, as usual, we're going to do lots of learning. So if Liz and I are turning to the side, we're not ignoring you, we're just taking notes. I
hope the girls have got some good questions about it.
Oh, yes. So my wee nugget today is all about time. So it's just, we're in Auckland, New Zealand over here too, by the way, for those people who are listening outside of the country. And we've just come to the end of the school holidays. And my husband was travelling for the last week and a half. And so I was doing it by myself plus working. And I was getting a bit stir crazy and trying to figure out what was the thing that was bugging me. And it was the time thing. It was like feeling like I was always stealing a bit of time from here to do this and stealing a bit of time from here to do this. And I wasn't being present. And I wasn't planning as much. And as soon as I start planning, my life falls to bits. So I wanted to get back to that really important thing. And I'm quite creative, which is really weird. I tell people I'm creative, they go, what? But you're a systems lady. But I'm really creative, and the only way I can be creative and have fun being creative is to have a really good bit of systems behind me in the background. So that's what I want to talk to you about, is planning. Hey Trish, nice to have you.
Hi Trish.
So time, plan it, or it will suck the love out of your business for you. So plan. So what I mean by that is get clear on what you need to be doing in your business. Because quite often it's like, oh, bright shiny object, Facebook, oh, Instagram, woo, and you get thrown off into all these tantalizing, exciting things, and we stop doing what we actually need to be doing. So what are those tasks you need to do in your business? A lot of us are wearing lots of hats, to get crystal clear about what you need to do. And then look at the frequency. Is it every day? If it's every week, fortnightly, monthly, bi-monthly? Actually write the lists out and look at it. Whether you do it on a piece of paper and do bright colours and post-it notes, doesn't matter. Or whether you create a spreadsheet, whatever works for you, but get clear about what you need to do. Especially the reoccurring tasks, things like GST, things like follow-ups for your clients. What is it that you need to be doing regularly? Then use your calendar to extend your memory. Overwhelm creeps in when you're thinking, oh, I've forgotten something, right? So make sure you get your calendar sorted out, and you know that those things that happen regularly, you schedule them into your calendar. So that extends your memory. Because what I see with a lot of my clients is that frustration. Oh, I forgot to do that, or I forgot to follow up with this. Just use your calendar to extend your memory. That's the thing that's probably stopped me pulling my hair out is just needing to utilize the tools you already have. So grab that one. And before you finish, the second one is before you finish work for the day, just run your eye over the next day's appointments or tasks. Run your eye over it, and just in your mind, set yourself up for what's happening tomorrow. Look at how you're feeling about that. Look at if there's some dread or whatever's going on. Just take notice of that. There's some techniques, which I'm not going to go into, about shifting that, but take notice about how you're feeling about the next day. Then the other thing, the big one, if you've got appointments with people, send a text or an email to confirm the meeting. I don't know how many times in the morning I've had a text at 9:30 and I'm in the car and I'm due to meet someone at 10. Saying, oh, I can't meet. But if you prompt them the day before and something needs to change, because life happens, right? We don't have everything happen as we think it will. Just prompt people so you can make sure you can shift and change things around. So that's my wee nugget about time. There's two things that have made a massive difference in my life. So grab those and use them if you can. Now, Liz, over to you.
Thanks, Fiona. And yeah, I'm probably slightly late on the bandwagon of timing and calendars and technology, because I've always been a hard copy diary up till now, but actually last week found Asana, nothing new, been around for ages, but absolutely loving it, absolutely loving the recurring tasks button that I can just do, because there's so much of what I do has to be done every single week or monthly or whatever. So yeah, and it's just quick, add it onto the to-do list while it's in my head rather than having to search for my diary. So yeah, totally loving that, and yeah, love that point for sure, because overwhelm can easily creep in when there's just too much going on up here. So I'm Liz Fry of lizfry.com, a mentor in life and business, and as Fiona very kindly mentioned earlier, can really have a blitz look at your business and look to see who you need to bring into it to really give you that support, because as we were just discussing before we came on live, that business can be tricky sometimes, and if you've got a good support crew around you, then that really helps. And sometimes it can just be the simplest thing, and rather than trying to be an expert in every single field, who can I connect you with that could make life easier? So my little tip today is about creating a habit of success, and how quite often we're taught to look at the big picture. What's our why? What's the reason we went into business? What do we want to achieve? And that's absolutely essential to give us that direction. But also, and sometimes we're taught to obviously then break that down to monthly and weekly goals to achieve. But what I've been looking at recently is actually how you can have really small goals, and it's not just things on your to-do list, but it could be something to do with the family. So it could be, you know, an hour present with the kids of an evening, like you say, Fiona.
Yeah.
It could be health things. It could be, you know, making sure you're drinking your 2 litres of water a day if it's a thing for you. Some of them may be business related, but just make sure that there's small achievable things and really celebrate when you have achieved them, so that celebration and that habit of success and achievement really just becomes more regular into your business, and you're not just hanging out for the big goals that you want to achieve each month, that there's daily things that you can actually look back on and see that you've actually achieved. So that's my nugget for today.
Oh, that's so important too, because there's we're a human being. We aren't just a business person. There's all these other things going on in our lives. So great point, Liz.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to shoot over to our next part of the show, which is introducing Senka. So I met Senka, I don't know, probably about a year and a half ago. I went along and I did her stand-up paddleboarding, which was so much fun. I've been wanting to do it for quite a while, and it was so nice. What I loved about it, doing it with just women, and just, you know, having the people there to help instruct you and give you the tools and stuff to help you, you know, learn how to do it. And it was such a cool vibe and environment, and it felt really cool to do it with other women. I went with a couple of friends, and it's not the kind of thing that you kind of organise by yourself as well. So it was so nice to have someone just organise it, have it ready, know what you needed to do, and so you felt really taken care of. It was a really cool thing to do, and I love what she's created. It's very, very cool for women to go out there and try new stuff, because often, you know, that kind of adventure stuff is always associated with guys. And I don't know about you, but I find the whole rah-rah male testosterone fueled stuff can be quite overwhelming, and I don't really want to compete with a guy. I just want to have fun and learn something new, and that's the environment that Senka takes, that she creates this adventure girls, outdoor adventure stuff for women to try stuff out in a safe environment, but also to get them out of their comfort zone, which is we all need now and again, just to challenge our minds. So Senka's been passionate about outdoor adventure. She's a self-confessed thrill seeker. And she had an idea about creating a company that gave women the opportunity to do things they've always wanted without the hassle of organising, which is what I found really great. So Adventure Girls went from a dream to reality when a bunch of her girlfriends and her were finished painting the inside of her house without any guy's assistance. And one of her friends stood back and said, "See, girls can do anything." And then she had one of those blinding flashes of the obvious, and she arranged her first adventure, and there the Adventure Girls was started and was born. So Senka likes to take women who are done with sitting in their comfort zone, ready to stretch themselves into that place where the magic happens. So 10 years ago, she quit the corporates, and she's been a serial entrepreneur. She's been in and out of businesses, and she's learned lots of lessons along the way, as we all can. Not a simple journey, right?
Yeah.
And Senka's face, I think she loves creating those moments where women get to see how much they can achieve for themselves. Like that's one of the things I think that strives her on, is seeing that in other women. So what a cool place for her to have to be in, to create for other women. What a generous place to hold for women. So Senka, tell us all about you and how you build your business through Meetups.
Oh my gosh, I have to say, when you were talking about my story about when I started the business, I was actually welling up. Like, I wanted to cry because that was 10 years ago. Like, when that happened, like, that was the first time that I had that, like, man, girls really can do anything. I was getting into mountain biking and I was getting into surfing, and, you know, 10 years ago, there weren't as many women around doing that stuff. There was definitely ladies out there, but it was just a little bit more far and few between. And I just was like, man, this sucks that you have to go out with, and there's just tons of boys, like, and, you know, it feels a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, and so hearing that story just took me right back to, like, 10 years ago, where I launched it. I ran it for 3.5 years. Some shit happened. I had to shut it down, and then I didn't run it for like 7 years. and then I've relaunched it in the last year and a half, and just kind of reflecting back on all the stuff that's happened over that time was just, in that moment of listening to you, just made me want to have a little cry and be like, you just can never give up on your dream. Like, I think inside of us there's always this calling that's sitting there for whatever it is that we want to create, and it's like, you know, shit happens, life happens, stuff happens, and yeah, I think we can try and bury some of that stuff, but I think it's always in us to follow through on something that we've always wanted to create. So yeah, it's really nice to kind of go, oh, it was great, and it sucked. It was great. Life.
It's the roller coaster of entrepreneurship, right?
Amen. Just don't get off the roller coaster at the wrong time. That's all.
Yes.
So I guess that's a little bit about me. Like, basically that's sort of how it was. It launched like 10 years ago. It was awesome. I ran it part-time as a business, and then I got involved in a couple of other businesses and some property stuff. Lost it all through the property market crash, and pretty much had to reset my entire life. And got involved in another business, which was awesome. Loved what they did, but again, there was just that niggly feeling within me that was just like, I love everything that I do, and you know, I get to go out and hang out with people and take them through. It was all team building stuff, but it just wasn't quite the right fit. It didn't have the freedom that I really craved to be able to kind of do more of what I wanted to, and I think inspire women a little bit more in the space that I'm really interested in. Yeah. So I stepped away from that after I lost my mum really quickly to pneumonia, and she passed away within a week.
Wow.
And it was just one of those big wake up moments. I think we've all had them in our lives, and then this was one of those where I was just like, I was burnt out. I was so stressed out from what I was doing in my other business that I was just like, is this, like, what would happen if I passed away? Like, it was like I would have had on my tombstone, I talk about this often, burnt out, tired, doesn't see friends, not happy, and I was just like, that's just not how life is supposed to be. No. So I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna do some stuff that actually really matters. So my mum's passing was a massive gift to me in that sense of like, it was just this huge wake up call. So I kind of feel like part of Adventure Girls is a bit of a legacy to her, that every time her anniversary comes around, I look back and I go, man, I could have been working in that job doing something I partially liked but kind of hated, and stuff that. So yeah, and then I've been on the roller coaster of being an entrepreneur again since then. So I relaunched quite quickly in the space of Facebook, because I was already on there, and there's a whole lot of stuff that happens on Facebook. And then I had a couple of people sort of say to me, have you done some meetup stuff, like just for personal purposes, like if you want to get out and meet people, it's a really great space? And I was like, and I sort of flagged it off, and then I thought, actually, I would like to meet some new people to go and do some cool stuff with for myself. And I thought, I'll jump on Meetup and have a look. And I looked at it and I went, actually, this is a massive business opportunity for me and for anyone who's creating anything that brings people together. Because what I love about Meetup is that, and I use Facebook heaps, like Facebook is one of my main ones, but I've grown my list on meetup.com, matches my list that I've created through everything else. It just grows naturally and organically by itself, but there's things that I do to kind of nurture that space as well. So I found Meetup, and I was just like, this is awesome. And the best way to kind of think about Meetup is it's like the space that people go on there for one reason only, and it's to meet other people doing something that they're interested in. So it kind of cuts through all the fluff of everything else that, like, say, Facebook feeds pop up, and it's just exclusively just for that. So it's this perfectly targeted market, which is what I love. So the only reason that people are coming on to Meetup is because they want to meet other people that do X, whatever it is that you're looking to do, or or your business offers. So I was like, this would be a great space. I should try this out for Adventure Girls.
Yeah.
And so I jumped in, started up a group, and like within basically, I think I've only been on there like 6 months, and I've got the goal is to get to 2,000 people in my Meetup group. And so, so it's such a genius space. So there's quite a few tips and things that I've learned along the way with using Meetup.
Yep.
So whatever you do, you name your group, name it something that's going to be a really eye-catching name, because I could have put Adventure Girls, which would have been, great, because it would have been my brand. But I was like, if I was searching through something, what would I want to think? And this is about a lot of this is about being true to who you are and using the language of what it is. But I was like, well, what would I want to come across? And I was like, oh, I know what to call it. Kick-Ass Adventures for Women in Auckland. And I was like, that is a bad name.
Nice.
So name the group something that's kind of the outcome of what they're going to get, and it's very specific. So you would know exactly what you're going to get when you read that title of that group. So it's going to be, it's adventures for women, and it's kick-ass. It's not flowery adventures. It's going to be a bunch of fun. So
yeah. You got to stretch yourself a bit. You got to stretch yourself. You're going to know what you're in for, right?
Yeah, totally. So a little bit of what Adventure Girls is all about.
Yeah.
So I just I found that place has been really awesome, and so there's heaps of tools that you can use to do that. So if you're in the business of connecting with people and creating groups and that sort of stuff, I guess it's like anything, like LinkedIn, there's that's more tailored towards business. I just find that this has got a real social element about it, and I think that people are genuinely on there to connect with people to do whatever it is. So it's such a useful tool to build it. So I run it alongside my existing list of people that I have on database or client base or whatever you want to call it, or my customers and that sort of stuff. And I run it alongside Facebook as well. So Facebook and Meetup are my two key areas that I use to stay in touch with my audience and talk to them and keep interested in that. So so there's a lot of features in there. The great thing is that this is what I loved about it, is at the moment it costs, it's such a the return on investment is ridiculous. It was $30 for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost you to use it at all in terms of communicating with your audience and stuff like that. So it's a little the way it's useful is if you're actually running either events or meetup things. If you're in the business of doing, meditation groups and stuff like that, would be really ideal. You actually have to create a meetup that's going to meet up and do stuff. So it's just a great way to do that.
So what sort of events do you put on there, Senka? Do you put some specifically for tasters of what you do, or do you just put what you're doing anyway and just another platform, so paid events?
I do that. It exactly mirrors my website and Facebook. So I've got my events up there. If you could use it as a lead generation tool, I guess there would be some, but I guess I was going to say there'd be some benefit in that, but then I would say you would run that alongside any other list building strategy or hook to get other people in. So if you're already running free events, you would just run that on there as well. You would run it parallel. So it's just another way of growing the business. That's what I found for myself for using Meetup, is that whatever's on my website and on Facebook, I've got it mirrored exactly that on the Meetup group. Because the great thing too is that once you've actually gone in and set up an adventure, an adventure in my case, once I've gone in and set the adventures up, is kind of like Facebook. You can go in and you can post pictures up afterwards. People can give feedback on it and all that sort of stuff. So there's a really great level of engagement. Cool. And the awesome thing too is that you can market to your audience as well. So from an engagement perspective, I've loved it. So everything that I send out to my client base via my e-news, I do a duplicate, or my VA does, a duplicate copy, and she sends it off to my list that's on there as well. So it kind of starts to build this really cool little community. So I've noticed it's gathered a lot of momentum once I kind of cracked over my first, it's actually just been a real consistent grower, but once I kind of clicked over 1,000, then it sort of seems to have built up a lot of momentum really quickly. And I think part of that is the fact that there's also history in terms of events that have been going on, and people can see the photos that have been related to that. you can market directly to people. You can communicate with them directly, like Facebook and things like that. So I use it for a lot of shoulder tapping, and there's some automation stuff within that as well that you can do as well. So yeah, alongside Facebook, which I do paid advertising and things like that, I'm still getting a better growth rate in my Meetup group in terms of new women joining that group. And I continually invite them over to my list as well. So just trying to bring them over to the list as well.
Yeah, because I've generally found, and I know other people have as well, that the actual uptake from saying yes on Meetup to actually coming to an event hasn't been that great. But I imagine if you're doing all that, posting feedback and pictures afterwards, messaging people, duplicating your other sort of lists work, so you've got a lot more interaction as opposed to just putting an event up and leaving it.
Yeah, and have the people though that were using Meetup, is it paid or free?
The events? Yeah, as far as I know, they've been free. So that that could apply to any platform.
Yeah, because with free stuff, I guess there's always going to be, like, my experience from my event management stuff and has been that there tends to be a dropout rate when it's free because there's no financial commitment. People can just, they don't want to come along, But if you factor that into, if that's part of your strategy, that you know that you're going to be doing a free event or something like that, that there's a natural dropout rate, then that's the case. But all the stuff that I list up there is all my paid events. So if you want to come surfing, you can find it on there. If you want to go mountain biking, it's on there. Come with us to Bali, it's on there, and it's paid, and it's exactly the same terms and conditions. It's just a mirror of the website. So it's such a useful tool if you're already doing that. And if you're offering free stuff as a free strategy, it would be really great to use it in that space. So just be aware that you'll get that dropout rate on it. So
cool. Can you give us some examples of the adventures? You mentioned a couple then. Like what have you got going on at the moment?
So it's been really nice actually. I took a month and a half off doing adventures because most of my adventures are the weekend. So it feels really weird not to have be going to see people in the weekend and things like that. I think I've been a little bit out of sorts from it. But we're kicking back in. So we pretty much do any sort of I call them kick-ass adventures because they're I like to do what I'd say is sort of maybe ordinary stuff, and then we also like to do stuff that's a little bit out of the box. So you can come along. We do surfing, mountain biking, foil driving. We do gun shooting, dirt biking. They're kind of our key adventures that we do. So some stuff that you could probably go and do with your friends and stuff like that if you really wanted to, and then stuff that would be really tricky to kind of organise with your friends and stuff like that. So the dirt biking's a little bit more out there, a little bit more of an adrenaline thing, and then we do and stand up, and then the flip side is we do things like stand up paddleboarding, which is more relaxing. It's really beautiful, and then things like gun shooting and four-wheel driving that actually don't require any sort of physical kind of adventure and stuff like that. So anything that kind of is going to get you to stretch your comfort zone a little bit more. Like the whole space of play is just I love that space. That's when I'm in that space of play and exploration, that's when I feel really open and receptive. I feel in tune and in flow because it's not like things have to be going a certain way. And it's so much of what goes on our adventures translates and ripples back through into the lives of the ladies and things like that. That's one of the stuff that I like. I love to hear when what's happened after they've done something, when they come along and they come and do the tree adventures and they're afraid of heights. One, I feel really honoured that someone's going to come along and trust us, me, and the group to look after them in a space that they're not necessarily comfortable in. Yeah. That's a real that's quite a privilege and an honour, and that's what I love to do, is set a really, like you said, Fiona, set a real safe space for that. And then to actually kind of see them progress through that, and it's not necessarily about conquering a fear and climbing the tallest thing, but it's getting them up the ladder and across the easiest course, and they're like, you know, get to the end of that and high five the shit out of each other, then like, yay, like happy days. But when we come from that place of play and all of that, that's a whole different thing. So yeah, so there's quite a few adventures that are coming up. Oh, and we're off to Bali as well in October to go do some surfing. So perfectly timed when all the shitty weather comes in to Auckland. If you're in New Zealand, we're ditching the shitty weather, and we're going to go head over to like 30 degrees, warm water, and we're going to go basically learn to surf, have yoga, do massages, and all that sort of stuff. So
gorgeous.
Yeah, really treat yourself, because I know, you know, I get a real mix of women that come along to our adventures. So they kind of fall into a couple of categories. Like, we get a lot of women who have been in like relationships for a long time, and their relationships are great. They're just looking for something for themselves. Like, there's like, I love my partner, and now it's just time to kind of get back out there and sort of just, you know, find some more fun things. And Adventure Girls kind of provides that space where it's like you can come along and give things a go without necessarily having to commit to getting into something. Like, you know, you might want to try mountain biking, but it might not be the thing that you want to do for a lot of the time. So yeah, women who have been in relationships and they're just kind of looking for something, or they've just come out of a relationship and they're like, right, I need to go get my girl power on. Now I'm going to go learn to surf, because I wanted to always do that. So we get a few women like that. And then mums, like I get lots of mums who want time out for themselves. I mean, you can relate. You know, I don't know if you've got kids, Liz, but it's like, it's just like just time out, like to remember I'm not a mum. But the space I want to hold for mums is that remembering that, yes, you're a mum, and I know that's super important, and your kids are really important, but so are you. Like, you're this epic woman who used to go out and have good times with her girlfriend. And it's like, and sometimes that just gets a little forgotten in between, like, you know, trying to put the kids to bed, be a wife, be all this sort of thing. And I just want to hold this space for women to come along and go, actually, today I'm going to be me. Like, me, the person who ends up giggling like a teenager at stuff. You know, it's like that's the space that we hold, because it's so important to remember that your own growth, your own fun, and like filling your happy tank up is like, it's crucial. Your happy tank is empty and you're running on like low, then that's it. Like, the
other thing for mums is that you're often running around planning adventures for your kids. So you just completely like, oh, I'll take them to the park. Oh, I'll take them to tree adventures. Oh, I'll take them here. And you're doing all these things for them because you have to be the organizer, and it's all about them. Or you take them to jump. It's not, and you're having to watch them and you know, be that caretaker. You don't get to sit back and enjoy things yourself. So it's really nice just have someone else plan it all and make it happen. You just turn up. It's like, oh my God. And we get a lot of businesswomen as well, because for that very reason, all they do all day, every day, like mums, is they organise other people. They're responsible for everybody else. They have to go and take care of all these things. And for one day, for one moment, all they need to do is go, oh, I've always wanted to go and do four-wheel driving. Click, turn up, we take care of everything, come along, you have fun, meet some awesome other women. Like, connecting in with other cool women is a huge part of it as well. Like, actually just getting to meet other women that are up for trying stuff, to like meet those kind of women. Just like when you go in business network, it's like you go out to meet other women who kind of get you, and they relate to you, and they understand, like, when you say, like we were talking earlier, we were laughing about business, just how the roller coaster can be such a shitty thing, and sometimes, damn it, we wish we could get jobs, and then bugger that, we're not going to go get jobs. So it's like connecting in with those women that get you and kind of understand what you're passionate about and what you're going for. So Adventure Girls kind of creates that space to connect up with other women, no matter what careers or whatever their background is, that in those days and in those moments, and just being in the joy of experiencing something new is what it's all about. Very cool. With your with your the meetups, like how soon did you get into that when you were looking at relaunching your business? Was it quite quick, or was it something you came across?
It took I didn't do it straight away. So the business has been rerunning now for it'll be 2 years in December, and I've only been on Meetup maybe close to a year.
Oh,
so if that,
and so did you go in with a strategy? Like, how did you learn how to use it? Tell us about that, no?
No strategy. I went, hey, this looks like it would work for me. And then I went in and I was like, okay, if we're going to go over any tips, I've got a bunch of those. So, but I went in and I went, okay, well, there's a place here that I can list my adventures. I wonder how this works. And I kind of got in there and I was like, right, so, okay, I can see I can list my adventures, listed up my adventures. I think if you're not in New Zealand, you can actually use their booking system. So, but because New Zealand's such a small market, is they don't offer their booking, the ability to use PayPal to book for people to book directly with you. Because we're such a small market, like it's not worth them setting it all up. Anyway, so I put my PayPal booking link into the listing. So essentially it replicates it. So people can just book directly. And then I was like, okay, well, how does this work? Okay, right, so people have to RSVP if they're coming to it. You can set limits on how many people can RSVP. So I keep my RSVPs open because people aren't booked until they're paid. And so I have a note at the bottom of all of my adventures. So these are all the systems that kind of have rolled out since I started using it. So at the bottom of all my adventures, it says, pretty much something like, don't that you're RSVP, but until you've paid some money, until you've paid, then you're not booked. So I keep the RSVPs open. So that's how people indicate that they want to come along to whatever it is. And you can create wait lists and all that sort of stuff. But the way that works best for me is that because even if they RSVP, they may not have paid. So if I limit the RSVPs, then it sort of caps anyone who potentially wants to come because they see that it's full.
Sure.
So I leave it all open and that sort of stuff. And when people RSVP, there's also an automated process that sends a question back to them. So in that part is where I say to them that they've RSVP'd. There's also that automated response that goes back to them and go, yay, you've RSVP'd. That's awesome that you can come along. Here's the booking link to come along. So
I like that.
Yeah, there's an automation process around it. So that all gets set up.
Yeah.
And my VA's got like the instructions. So she just goes through and takes what's on the website and puts it on there and then sets that RSVP reminder up to that.
Oh.
And then you can email either your entire Meetup group. So I can either email everybody that's in the mymeetup.com group and I send every Wednesday, I send out the same newsletter that I send out to my list. I send it to that. So it's an exact replication of that. So there is a call to action for bookings as well as call to action to other freebies and gifts. So I can, bring them over to other lists and nurture them in that space and continue to build a relationship with them in there.
Just on that, is that purely, where's your newsletter normally? What platform do you use for that?
I use Aweber.
Okay. So, and are you able to send that to your list in that format?
So she takes a copy of it and then pastes it in. So you can put images and all that sort of stuff. The formatting process is very basic. So we only use a key image at the top, and then usually I have photos to go with each of the adventures for my normal newsletter, but that's just a bit trickier to replicate in there because it's a real simple system. Yeah. So I kind of just simplified the process and took the pictures. We take the pictures out and have the links. So so it's not as robust as like an email marketing program like I use Aweber and things like that. So there's, because it's not really guest designed in that space, so maybe they might enhance those features later, but it serves its purpose in being able to consistently market and engage and talk with the audience and let them know what adventures are coming up and continue to build a relationship with them. That's something that pops up when they're ready to come along and have a good time with me. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Is there like marketing or ad function in Meetup? Or like how do you get your group seen?
Yeah, so that's the interesting part, is that this group has organically grown. So there's no way to advertise it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I can't go into Meetup and go, I've got this group, can you like put me to the top of the list, or can you do that? So it's really organic. I feel is amazing because it's like, I think the people that are on there are truly interested in doing something that you like. So I kind of feel like it's really great in that way, that it's not just you're paying out and getting a lot of sort of needies. It's like people are like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. I want to do some stuff with ladies in Auckland. Oh, that looks awesome. I'm into that.
Yeah.
So there is a search function if you're the user. So if you've got your business up there, or you're looking to connect up with other groups and stuff like that, then you can search in your area, and then even with sort of the types of search that you're looking for and stuff like that. So if you're listing your businesses from events or meditations, you even want to kind of put into whatever your group name is probably having things that are relative to your audience of what they might search for and stuff like that. So
very cool.
Yeah, and I think it's part of that is the momentum, is that because we're running adventures regularly, people can come on and they can see now that we've been on there for a year, it's like we've got our upcoming adventures, so whatever's coming up, people can see that, but we've also got the solid past adventure thing, and then when you click into the past adventures, you can look at the photos. So there is a kind of a tipping point where it's on, people go, oh, they're a legit business, they're not just like, yeah. So you have to kind of get past that, like, part of, like, you've actually got to start getting those meetups happening, getting people from your meetups to your other things that you're actually driving, where you're driving them to. So so it's all about, like, there's credibility within what we're creating, that's like just sort of understanding all those features that it does offer, even though it is limited in the sort of formatting and stuff. You can still do the things that you can actually do similarly on Facebook and things like that. So, but it's great. It's just so condensed, because it's just like, imagine if you're listing a Facebook event, like, that's all it is. Like, that's what it's concentrated on. So that's essentially, so it just makes it great. And then you can market to those ladies, to the people that have RSVP'd as well. So you can do a direct campaign to them as well if you wanted to.
That's fantastic. And I mean, the meetup spaces, I've gone on there to look for various bits and pieces, that I've found there's a couple of things I've wanted to go to, but the timing's been wrong. So I'm just joining them in terms of groups to look for the next event.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. So you've been in and used Meetup a little bit.
I have. When it first started, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I went to one event that Seth Godin did this worldwide thing. I don't know if you remember it, when he launched one of his books. Oh, he's an amazing author. He's a thought leader. Yeah. And there was a whole bunch of people turned up, and I actually that's where I met Kate Ninkful actually about 8 years ago, and a couple of other people. So it was like, I met some really neat people, and it was like, I didn't know anybody going, and I just rocked up to this business meeting going, okay. We all read the book and we all came and told us to meet up. I can't remember what the question was to ask each other, but I just thought what a brilliant idea. It was cool. It was, and as you said, it's the people who already have the mindset that's the same. Yeah, so it would have only appealed to those that would have been interested at whatever it is that you're doing and stuff like that. So it really, I think it just, you still, like anything, you will get those people that are just tire kickers and just to sit around and watch and stuff like that. But I think it's so nice, and I feel that it's a real targeted kind of space, and because everything's so replicatable from, like, for me, for what I'm already doing. So it's not like this is my only source of thing. It's like, well, I'm already doing what I'm doing on there. What I'm already doing. So all I've got is my VA is duplicating that process to that system. And it's working. So it's like, it's not an extra kind of like doing anything really more. It's just
reaching a brand new audience that I would not normally reach on Facebook. I get a lot of people on Meetup who aren't on Facebook.
Oh, interesting.
So those people that are on Meetup aren't on Facebook. They might be on Instagram, but they won't be on Facebook. There's a bit of a movement, I think, to being off Facebook.
Interesting.
And so I find them in Meetup. So because I always post adventures, we put the pictures up on Facebook, plus we send them a Dropbox link of all the photos taken on the day so people can just look back and revel at the awesomeness of what they've done. So part of that is, and so they're like, well, we're not on Facebook. I was like, what? Like, usually every 2 adventures, I get a couple of ladies that aren't on them, which is, I think, significantly high. So
yeah, isn't it amazing? Because you just assume that everybody, but I know a few people who aren't on Facebook too, so yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of them are on I found there a lot of them are on Instagram and Meetup, so because it kind of is the same but different. So
yeah,
less, so that's a little bit about Adventure Girls and a little bit about how I've grown the business. But yeah, I find it's just, if you're a business that is about getting people together, they do have a strict criteria. Like they did actually question my business, question it when I set it up. They said this is a place for genuinely getting people together. They're about building community and all that. And all I did was just reply, sent them the link to my website and was like, this is what Adventure Girls is all about. We're all about getting people together to go out and try these adventures and all that sort of stuff. And they're like, okay, cool. So so it does need to be seen to be a community based business, as in engaging with an audience and a community, as opposed to just selling product, which is, I think, the thing that they were really conscious of. So I think that's just to keep the integrity of what Meetup is about. It is about meeting people with a like mind of whatever it is. So
that's very cool. I like it.
Yeah. So if you're getting people together in groups or anything like that, then I would say it's a really good space to explore, looking at a way to grow your business quite well. So
sounds good. It sounds good, Liz?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got views on there, and I suppose probably the sort of simplicity of it has frustrated me in some ways.
Do you use it already? Do you, Liz?
Yeah. So I've got my networking group on there. But like mine are free events, so I do get that dropout kind of thing. But you've given some great tips there on other ways to actually utilize it. So I'm probably not getting the most out of it that I could be. So that's been really useful, and absolutely. And I've used it to meet people like you have, Fiona, as well. And my brother was in Germany a little while back working, and he was just like, I don't know anyone, blah blah blah, and I told him to jump up on Meetup, because you can just put a little search in the area, can't you? And an incredible platform that I don't think is probably utilized enough in terms of getting people out and about and together. So it's awesome.
Oh, that's great. Well, hopefully you've got some new little bits in there that you can kind of start doing that space. I just think
I've got an idea.
I think if you can just use it, like think about it as an engagement tool as well, then that will help maximize it. Yes, you can, like anything, you could just list something on Facebook, you could just list something on your website, you can just list them on there, but unless you're engaging with that audience that are coming through, then it's it's irrelevant. It's just like something that's just sitting there. So and people want to connect, and I think on any level people want to connect, be heard, be felt, and in whatever way, and they're just searching for other groups that they feel that they can fit in with and connect with and hold similar values to them and stuff like that. So definitely communicate more with them. Like that would hands down, like that will maybe help engage them a little bit more. But I guess you have a different strategy if your groups are free compared to like my stuff, which is actually promoting my adventures and things like that. So,
hey, Senka, what advice would you give yourself to starting out in business?
Say that again. What advice would I give?
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give to Senka starting out in business again?
Oh my gosh!
One piece of advice. What's one critical piece of advice you'd give yourself?
I feel like I've got two. Can I do two? Go on.
Yeah,
Go on. One is stay true to who you are. Definitely stay true to who you are, because there are so many business models and there are so many ways, and we see so much. And I did a big post about this, about comparison, like being a see you next Tuesday. And it's just like, comparison is such a dream killer. And it's like, we get so caught up in seeing how everyone else's world looks so perfect and amazing when, you know, they're on a roller coaster ride themselves, and sometimes you might just only see the up. So like, stay true to who you are. Like, you know, always check in with yourself. Does this feel right for you? And sometimes you need to sit with that a little bit longer, because there can be the fear of something that might be like, oh no, I can't, that's not for me. But that could be fear talking. So it's just like sitting with it and coming to a place where it's just like they're actually really listening to your heart and sort of letting that mind chatter sort of fall away, and really just stay true to that. Like, when, like, any question that you think you need to ask an expert on what direction you need to take, like, sit there wherever you feel like it's most connected, and go and sit there and like ask yourself that question, and like really just feel into it. So stay true to who you are and what you're passionate about, and your values and all of that, and stay in alignment with that, and the rest will happen. Like, it will come with the actions that you take. And that comes, like, the second piece is just be consistent. Like, like I said, I set the business up, like, yeah, sometimes it takes time, but just be consistent. Like, you gotta show up almost every day, and it's not like about showing up as in putting on a show, but, you know, it's like showing up and being consistent and being there and engaging with your audience. It's like, you got into whatever you got into for a reason. Let's hope that's because you love the shit out of it. And it's like, you know, you started a group because you wanted to connect. For me, it's like I wanted to connect women to get out to do more cool adventure, and it's like staying consistent in that space and continually talking to them and finding out what they want more of, adjusting the business along the way to fit what's really need. But consistency is definitely the key. Like, just turning up and being there for your group, and delivering what it is that they need from you. Yeah, my two big pieces of advice that I would give to myself. Trust myself, be true to who I am, and be consistent.
Nice, like it. Very cool. Liz, any final thoughts from what we've learned today from Senka?
Yeah, I mean, just one of the things that you said very early on that just really hit home was, yeah, just making sure your happy tank's full. Because I think, you know, as I said, we had that discussion before the show, and yeah, I think that's just absolutely vital. You know, I talk about putting your own life jacket on first, and yeah, yeah, you're doing that to protect yourself before you can look after, whether it's clients, friends, you know, team members, employees, whatever it is. So yeah, absolutely, keep that happy tank full up. Yeah.
So Senka, like, I love the fact that I love your systems. I think your systems are great. I think the fact that you thought about, obviously you've tested and measured it to figure out what you need to do, and you've really leveraged Meetup. Like, you've figured out, what you need to do and how you need to do it, and that's something a lot of us, I know, when we're faced with a piece of software or something, a tool, that it can be quite overwhelming to go, well, I've done this, what now? I mean, it's like, why is it not happening for me? Come on. I put it on Facebook, there's an event. Why is no one signing up? Like, you really thought about what it is in terms of the mental process that people need to go through, and then set your systems up to kind of reflect that. So I love the way that you've thought about that, and then built the systems that that will help people to jump on board and take part in your adventures. It's really cool to see what you've done, and for sharing those tips. I think the outcome focused name for the group, that's a great idea, rather than just calling it your business name, because then it's about the client, not about you, because we get caught up in all about us. I know I do. Yeah, and then the tools, how you've integrated them. You've integrated everything and replicated across Facebook and your website, and then Meetup as well. So there's that, obviously, the consistency and the messaging. And I I love the fact that, you know, you talked about how Meetup, you can actually email people and send them the link to prompt them to purchase, because God knows people need prompt to purchase sometimes, don't they?
The whole thing is, it's like you put this, you know, you post an event out there or whatever, and it's like, and then we don't ask for the sale. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, people do need prompting. Like, they wouldn't be a group if they didn't want to be a part of it, and all you're doing is asking them to be a part of it, and part of that is that they have to pay for it. So it's like, you know, I remember I used to shy so much away from like asking for the sale, and that's been some massive growth for me, is just to go, hey, you know what, this is really cool. You wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be here. So you're me, let's do this. Like, come on, and here's the link to do it. Like, duh.
Nice. Yeah. And that's probably one of the biggest thing as an entrepreneur, is saying, because you're putting yourself out there, there's an element of yourself out there, you're selling yourself, you're offering yourself up, and there's a level of vulnerability that we all have that sits there that stops us.
What if I'm not good enough? What if they hate my adventure? What if they don't learn to do the thing? What if they don't love it? What if they blah, blah, blah? Yeah, fully hear you. Whenever I'm launching a brand new adventure, I definitely go through those speed wobbles again, like, because like anything that I've run several times, I know how it runs. I know what it's like. I know some of the things to look out for that people feel challenged about, and I can kind of address those at the start. When it's a brand new adventure that I've done, but I haven't taken people to do, then that's a whole nother, like, it's a whole nother level of vulnerability for me. And I often feel resistance about launching new adventures. So I'm just like, oh my gosh.
It's a whole new baby, it's a whole new level of risk, right? Yeah. Cool.
Whole new level of growth.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all your knowledge and your wisdom. I've wanted to launch walk and talk groups for businesses for ages, because I love walking and I like talking. And I love talking about business. Perfect mix. So I've tried to launch it a couple of times, and it's just, I'm like, oh, they don't want to do it like me. And I just got into that shitty story. So I think that, and I want to get fitter again, and I know I'm not doing enough walking. So that's what I'm going to look at.
You know, and do you know how many, I'll say women, just because that's the group that I like, but how many women/business people want to do that, want to get some more fitness in, that are in your area? I love it. Sounds like a great idea. I was actually just out with, I stayed over at Jodie's house, because her internet's way better than my rural connection, and we went out for a walk this morning. We did a 6K walk and chatted about business, so we got our exercise in, we got our fresh air, and we got got to talk some business stuff and sort of bounce some new ideas. It was awesome. So
So that's something I think I might have to be looking at Meetup.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Fun. Combining a whole bunch of loves. So that's got to be fun, right? So thank you for your time and your energy and your expertise. I really appreciate you jumping on board this morning. And I've got lots of notes and got inspiration for something new. Oh dear, bugger that.
Which often happens.
Watch the resistance blow up. So for those listening in, our next fortnight show, we have Nadia from Uniqueness Solutions. She's going to be talking about making your MailChimp lists work for you. And I'm going to be taking lots of notes on that one, because I know a lot of us are building our lists, and that can be a real pain if you're not knowing and bringing lists in here and there and everywhere, and how you should segment them and create them and make them work for you. So even if you don't want to learn how to do it yourself, if you want to assign it to a VA, you need to know what you're going to be asking them. So listen in to Nadia and get some great tips from her. That is in 2 weeks' time on Monday at 9 a.m. Anything else to part with, Liz, today?
Oh, I think, absolutely. As I say, just, keep those happy tanks full up.
Definitely. Yeah. And if people want to connect with us on the, you can come across to just put the link here to our Facebook group. And my website is still this. You want to pop your website in there too, Liz? And I've got the Adventure Girl one somewhere in here. Where's it gone?
And maybe just pop the URL for the one in there as well.
For Adventure Girls, pop that in there.
Yeah, yourultimatesisterhood.com as well.
Where are we? Have I got that one? one. Thank you, girl. Have I got is the ultimate system hood on?
I'll do it.
Oh, you do it. Yeah, pop it in there. Go for it. Cool. Liz, you got yours? Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Fabulous. So, thank you everybody for joining us. Who's going to be listening to this on Zoom? Imagine afterwards. Thanks everybody for joining in today, and you come and join us in the Business Made Easy group. I'll be loading this up to YouTube later on, so yeah, you people listening in there, and onto my website as well. So thank you everyone. Signing off, this is Fiona Hall from Business Made Easy, and Liz Fry and Senka. Is it Radnich? Radnich. There we go.
Yeah, good old Croatian name.
Yes. Fantastic. I'm going to stop the recording now.